1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier, the stylish pioneer of pickup design. The 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier was more than a truck. It was a revolution on wheels. Born during a time when America was shifting gears into an age of prosperity, leisure, and expressive design, the Cameo captured the spirit of an era that refused to settle for the ordinary. Until then, pickup trucks had been purely utilitarian, a box on wheels built to haul, drag, and endure. Beauty wasn't part of the brief. But then came the Cameo, with its slick lines, smooth fiberglass panels, two-tone color schemes, and a sense of flair that turned heads at every stoplight. It challenged the idea of what a truck could be, introducing a new kind of vehicle that combined function with fashion. For the first time, style-conscious Americans could drive a pickup that looked as good parked outside a diner as it did on a construction site. Ever heard of a truck that looked like a car? Before 1955, the concept would have seemed absurd. Trucks were rugged, dirty, and loud. Tools for farmers and tradesmen, not something you'd take on a date or show off to neighbors. But Chevrolet had a different vision. Inspired by the sleek lines and luxury features of their passenger cars, Chevy's design team set out to redefine the pickup. The result was the Cameo Carrier, a stylish blend of muscle and sophistication that looked just as at home in front of a mid-century ranch house as it did behind a plow. With its curvaceous rear fenders made of fiberglass, hidden step sides, and chrome accents, it was unlike anything the market had ever seen. At the heart of the Cameo's appeal was its bold departure from tradition. Trucks of the early 1950s were slab-sided and square, built with exposed steps and steel bodies that prioritized function above all else. The Cameo Carrier, however, was wrapped in design cues borrowed straight from Chevy's passenger cars. It featured the new Task Force cab, sleeker, lower, and more aerodynamic, and a sculpted rear bed with flush-mounted fiberglass fenders that eliminated the unsightly step-side bulges. Suddenly, a truck didn't have to look like a toolbox on wheels. It could be smooth. It could be beautiful. It could be cool. But beauty wasn't the only trick up the Cameo's sleeve. Under the hood, buyers had access to Chevrolet's new 265 cubic inch small block V8, a legendary engine that would go on to power everything from Corvettes to Camaros. It delivered real performance and reliability, proving that the Cameo wasn't just a pretty face. The interior was another game changer. Instead of a bare metal cabin and vinyl bench seat, the Cameo offered a two-tone dashboard, stylish trim, and even a radio, luxuries unheard of in the world of pickups. It didn't just drive better, it felt better. It invited you in and made you want to stay a while. What made the 1955 Cameo Carrier so revolutionary wasn't just its looks or its performance. It was the idea it represented. It dared to ask why trucks couldn't be aspirational. It proved that utility and elegance weren't mutually exclusive, that you could have hauling capacity and head-turning design in one package. That single idea would go on to reshape the entire pickup industry. Fast forward to today, and you'll see echoes of the Cameo in every high-end truck on the market, from the leather-lined Ford F-150 Platinum to the tech-packed GMC Sierra Denali. Luxury pickups are everywhere now, but the Cameo was the first to chart that course. Back in 1955, the Cameo was a niche product. It was more expensive than standard pickups, and its production numbers were relatively low. Only around 5,200 units were sold in its first year. But its influence far outpaced its sales. It sparked a design movement within the truck industry and signaled that customers were hungry for something different. Chevy would expand on the concept in the years that followed, and other manufacturers soon followed suit, experimenting with style, comfort, and innovation in their own truck lines. The Cameo Carrier came along at the perfect time in American culture. The mid-1950s were all about change and optimism. Suburban life was booming, families were moving to new homes with two-car garages, and teenagers were falling in love with chrome and horsepower. A truck like the Cameo, with its car-like flair and undeniable presence, fit the mood of the nation. It wasn't just about getting the job done anymore. It was about making a statement while you did it. Today, The 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier is a highly prized classic, sought after by collectors and enthusiasts who recognize its role in automotive history. Its sculpted panels and signature tailgate evoke a time when design took bold risks and Detroit dared to dream big. Restored examples shine at car shows and auctions, often drawing crowds who admire not just its rarity, but the fearless vision it represents. It's a reminder of what's possible when function meets imagination. Looking for inspiration in your own vehicle design? The Cameo is a masterclass in blending form and function. Every line, curve, and color choice was made with intention, not just to perform, but to impress. Whether you're designing your own custom build, restoring a classic, or simply dreaming about your next project, the Cameo's legacy offers a roadmap. Think differently, break the mold, and don't be afraid to mix the practical with the beautiful. The 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier wasn't just a truck. It was a cultural milestone. It proved that pickups could be elegant, that style and substance could ride side by side. It laid the foundation for decades of innovation and helped shape the pickups we know today. More than anything, it challenged expectations and invited people to see trucks not just as machines, but as expressions of who we are. It was bold, it was beautiful, and it changed everything. The rise of a design icon. When the 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier rolled off the line, it didn't just mark the debut of a new model, it ignited a design revolution. The Cameo was a spark in the darkness, a bold strike of ingenuity at a time when pickup trucks were still viewed through the narrow lens of brute utility. Chevrolet's Cameo dared to ask, why not both? Why not build a truck that could work all day and still turn heads at night? It fused the raw strength of American engineering with the sleek sophistication of 1950s automotive design. This wasn't a fluke or a gimmick, it was the birth of a new chapter in automotive history. The 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier wasn't just a different kind of truck. It was a different kind of idea. Until that point, pickups had a very clear purpose: to get the job done. They were dependable, rugged, and simple, like a tool in a box. But the Cameo Carrier took that formula and reshaped it with bold lines, polished chrome, and eye-catching color schemes. For the first time, design wasn't just a side note, it was front and center. Its cab and body shared the same DNA as Chevy's passenger cars, while the rear fenders, crafted from fiberglass, smoothed the boxy profile into something more sculpted and elegant. In a world full of steel and straight angles, the Cameo brought curves and class. It was the first truck to offer a truly car-like experience: comfort, style, and charisma paired with power and practicality. That blend of worlds was unprecedented in 1955, and it changed everything. The Cameo's influence was immediate and far-reaching. It didn't just raise eyebrows, it raised the bar. Competing manufacturers took note. Suddenly, the pickup wasn't just about load capacity and torque. It was about appearance, comfort, and even prestige. Chevrolet's gamble paid off, not necessarily in sheer sales numbers, but in shaping the expectations of an entire market. Over time, the lines between trucks and cars began to blur. People began to see trucks not just as tools, but as personal statements, status symbols, even fashion accessories. And it all started with one bold idea: the 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier. Behind the Cameo's design, at the core of the Cameo's transformation, was a visionary team of designers and engineers who believed in reimagining the role of the truck. The Cameo wasn't born from a boardroom demand for higher sales or a last-minute marketing ploy. It was created by individuals who saw beauty in the balance of form and function. Chevrolet's design team, led by the legendary Harley Earl, the father of modern automotive design, infused the Cameo with the same forward-thinking energy that had transformed GM's entire lineup. Earl's philosophy was simple but revolutionary: cars should be beautiful. And trucks, he believed, should be no exception. The Cameo's key features reflected this philosophy. Start with the wraparound windshield, a sleek, curved glass panel that offered panoramic views and added a touch of aviation-inspired sophistication. It wasn't just stylish, it made the driving experience more immersive. The integrated cab and bed design was another stroke of genius. Traditional trucks had a jarring gap between the cab and cargo area. The Cameo smoothed this over, creating a seamless look that felt more cohesive, more like a luxury vehicle than a utility hauler. And then there were the fiberglass rear fenders, an industry first. Molded to create flowing lines and eliminate the boxy, utilitarian appearance of standard stepside trucks, they gave the Cameo its unmistakable silhouette. But perhaps the Cameo's greatest strength was the way it resonated with people. It wasn't just truck buyers who took notice. It was car lovers, design enthusiasts, and industry insiders alike. The Cameo proved that a truck could have flair, that it could stir emotions and reflect personal taste. It wasn't just admired, it was desired. It tapped into something deeper, a longing for individuality in an increasingly standardized post-war world. Consumers were drawn to its elegance, and the industry began to shift in response. The Cameo carrier's legacy. Although the Cameo wasn't mass-produced in enormous numbers, roughly 5,200 units in its first year, it left an outsized mark on the cultural and automotive landscape. At the time, it was priced higher than a standard pickup, and its appeal was more niche than mainstream. But rarity only enhanced its mystique. Over the decades, the Cameo's status as a collectible has skyrocketed. Restored models fetch high prices at auctions, and original parts are coveted like treasure. It's not just a truck, it's a piece of living history. Its influence on later trucks cannot be overstated. The Cameo opened the door to a new category of vehicles, the luxury pickup. What was once a radical idea in 1955 became the industry standard by the 2000s. Trucks like the Ford F-150 King Ranch and the Ram 1500 Limited owed their DNA to the Cameo. Integrated body designs, upscale interiors, premium paint, and chrome detailing, all concepts pioneered by the Cameo, became essential elements of modern trucks. The Cameo laid the groundwork for a market that now values both performance and presentation, brawn and beauty. Preservation of the Cameo has become a mission for enthusiasts and historians alike. Across America and beyond, classic car clubs and restorers dedicate thousands of hours to bringing these icons back to life. Each nut and bolt tells a story, each curve a memory. The Cameo isn't just a collectible, it's a conversation piece, a portal to a time when innovation was as much about soul as it was about specs. And that's why its appeal has endured for nearly 7 decades. The Cameo's enduring impact. Pop culture didn't miss its chance to capture the Cameo's charm. It has made appearances in movies, TV shows, and vintage advertisements, always stealing the spotlight with its graceful lines and unique character. Whether it's cruising through a retro diner scene or parked beside a 1950s gas station in a nostalgic montage, the Cameo delivers more than aesthetics. It delivers authenticity. It represents a time when America was dreaming big and building bold, and its image still evokes that same sense of optimism. Beyond film and TV, the Cameo's influence lives on in design studios around the world. Automotive designers frequently point to it as a landmark in blending utility with visual appeal. In an age when consumers demand more than just horsepower and towing capacity, the lessons of the Cameo are more relevant than ever. It's not just a design inspiration for trucks. It's influenced crossovers, SUVs, and even sedans, pushing the industry to think outside the traditional boundaries of vehicle roles. Form doesn't have to be sacrificed for function, and the Cameo proved that beautifully. What truly cements the Cameo's lasting appeal is its timelessness. The 1955 model still looks fresh today. Its smooth lines, confident stance, and effortless elegance feel right at home even in a showroom filled with futuristic electric vehicles. It has aged like fine wine, only gaining depth and admiration as time rolls on. It remains a symbol of bold thinking and refined execution, a truck that dared to be more and ended up being unforgettable. The Cameo carrier's enduring legacy. The Cameo is more than a historical footnote, it's a cultural cornerstone. It marks the point when the pickup truck began its evolution from a rugged utility hauler to a full-fledged lifestyle vehicle. It symbolizes a turning point in automotive history when design, comfort, and identity merged with capability. Without the Cameo, today's pickups might still be boxy and bare, built purely for tasks and not for pride. It showed us what was possible when engineers and artists collaborated, when ideas were allowed to go beyond the expected and into the extraordinary. As we look to the future of truck design, the spirit of the Cameo is more alive than ever. Electric pickups are on the rise, digital dashboards are the new norm, and customization is king. Yet the soul of modern trucks, the idea that a pickup can be both powerful and polished, owes everything to that 1955 vision. What might the next Cameo look like? A sleek, electric utility vehicle with autonomous driving features? A modular workplay hybrid that transforms with the push of a button? If history tells us anything, it's that innovation happens when someone dares to challenge the status quo, just as Chevrolet did nearly 70 years ago. And now it's your turn. Whether you're a lifelong gearhead, a weekend cruiser, or someone who just appreciates good design, the story of the Cameo is yours to carry forward. Share your memories. Talk about the trucks that made you fall in love with the road. Dream up your own interpretations of what the next great design leap could be. The legacy of the Cameo isn't locked in a museum. It's alive in conversations, restorations, and imaginations across the world. So here's to the 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier, the truck that broke the mold, turned heads, and never looked back. May its story continue to inspire those who believe vehicles should be more than machines. They should be art, soul, and symbols of the time in which they were made. The Cameo was all that and more. And its road, paved with style and vision, is still wide open ahead. Final review: the legacy of the 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier. The 1955 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier stands as a timeless testament to bold vision and fearless design. It wasn't just a vehicle, it was a challenge to conventional thinking. At a time when pickups were seen only as workhorses, the Cameo introduced elegance, style, and innovation to a segment that had long been overlooked. It fused the power and utility of a truck with the beauty and comfort of a passenger car, and in doing so, reshaped the way the world viewed the pickup. From its wraparound windshield to its fiberglass fenders and luxurious interior, every detail of the Cameo was intentional. It was crafted to inspire, to lead, and to change the game. Though its production run was short, its influence spans generations. The Cameo Carrier laid the foundation for the luxury pickups we see today and continues to inspire designers, restorers, and dreamers across the globe. Whether you're an auto enthusiast, a vintage collector, or simply someone who appreciates good design, the Cameo's story is a reminder that vehicles can be more than transportation. They can be cultural icons. If this story of innovation and style sparked something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your fellow car lovers, enthusiasts, and history buffs. And if you enjoyed this journey through automotive history, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next ride through time. Let's keep the legacy of the Cameo Carrier alive, together.